I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, what up, man?
Who that?
It's Hard Will. Back like 2/5, man. It's your boy Hard Will.
What?
You alright, man?
Alright, what's up?
Go get up, man. Go get up, man. I got some money for you, man. I got this phone. Let's see.
The
KT
phone?
Wireless.
KT Wireless?
T-Mobile, man. We on here with some bread. We going to the Knicks game. We back like 2/5.
That's Hard Will?
Yeah, let's go.
For the love of the game?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, I ain't never stop loving you, boy. We back.
We back, baby.
Thank you, man.
Let's go.
All right,
Let's
man.
go.
It's a jolly time of the year, right before the new year. Ain't no other squad better on this day than the Knicks. We back. Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting. 12 noon, we back 12 in the 2/5. Biggest tree in the world filled with presents. Little kids, they checking off their wish list. Ho, 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 we celebrating this Christmas. Jingle bell, first game playing in the garden. Tell Santa we got the whole league watching. Right before we celebrate the new year. James Dolan crossing with the reindeers. Parker decks, they filled with no room garage. When it comes to the flow, this here's eggnog. Best believe your boy, yeah, I'm on my job. Celebrate your Christmas with the Knicks squad. The best place in the world, that backstage shopping. I AD my wrist so you can keep watching. Shopping sprees all over, this is Times Square. Then it's back to the game at Madison Square. Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Back on Christmas, J Boogie predicted this. You can't say St. Nicholas without nicking it. The Knicks on Christmas should be ubiquitous. So shout out if you've been with us, sitting through the interim. Feels like we meant to win. Now we got the kids with us. Potential is limitless. Gifts go down the chimney. Try to put the Grinch on me. Pinch me, but I'm not dreaming. It's a new reality. New York is in the top seating. Seasons, greetings, Eastern Conference. Defense, the Gardens. Rocket, best fans in the game. We don't do the home away split. Catch me at the Staples, baby. I make the sleigh live. 8 gifts, pulling up in the Cambridgers. About to lace the garden with a pack of frankincense and myrrh. Can't resist the urge. Knicks set new squad. Time to burn the competition. Sitting out of you, Lord.
Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Something wrong with your TV screen. If that orange and blue ain't playing on that red and that green. Favorite players, yeah, but Knicks stay forever the team. Shout out the upstairs, trying to play chess with the team going forward. They're making sure the squad is in order. They know we hated on by all opposing reporters. It's torture. New Yorkers, we built for fourth quarters. Show up to the court or prepare for a slaughter. They want to hate on the Knicks. Tell me what that's doing. Get that stuff out of here. Shout out to Pat Ewing. 12 noon jump ball. Just know we enemies. We trying to bring home the gold back from the 70s. Oh yeah, we back on Christmas. Oh no, can it be? Only us Knicks fans know the whole New York energy. If you ain't know what type of tension this is, Knicks Nation will see y'all on Christmas.
Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. Their red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocker, Knicks University main man, Uncle Freezy. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Get that energy up, party people in the place to be. What's good? What's good, y'all? What's good? It's good to see y'all. Good to be with y'all. Y'all know what it is. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Okay. Okay. Well, throw the hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Scream. Bim. Bim. Let's get it, y'all. Blue tears, orange tears, orange tears in the building. Salute to the chat. Almighty Finesse, what's good? Julian Blum, let's get it. DSJ, the original, what's good? Coach, Big Paisan is in the building. Sherwin, what's good, man? I see you. I see you. The ball don't lie is in the building. I see y'all, man. What's happening? Rodney Ack is in the building. Okay. Robert Paul is in the building. All right. Where's Eric Siriel at? You know we can't start without Eric Siriel. Yo, Luke Skywalker Visions is in the building. Good to see you, boss. Been a minute. What's good? What's good, man? What's good? All right. So let's get this conversation started. For Shiz is in the building. All right. I see y'all. Yo, I ain't even gonna lie. So the Golden State Warriors are coming into the building tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? They just knocked off the Toronto Raptors the other night, right? It's a dude that I kind of do the kick it with, on Twitter. Uncle Alchemy. Shout out to Uncle Alchemy. You know what I'm saying? He don't acknowledge nobody but the Warriors fans. Yeah, I'm just joking with him, man. But I really like that dude, man. He put out quality content. For the next day or so, I'm gonna be ribbing him. You know what I'm saying? Going at him, right? Shout out to the Smoking Nick. Guzman is in the building. My ace, Guzman, bro. Guzman. Yo, let me throw this link in the chat, man. I can't have my boys waiting. I can't have my mans waiting. Let me throw this link in the chat just real quick. Right? Sherwood says, who can we get for Quickly Cam, iHeart, Obi in the trade that is better than RJ? Nah, man. Hey, man. You ain't sure. You ain't about to set me up on that, bro. You know what I mean? You ain't about to set me up on that. What I will say is this. I don't think the 9-man rotation is sustainable for 50 more games or 52 more games because of how hard you have to play. I don't think it's sustainable. But I don't think they have to go. I don't think they have to go get a replacement. Right? I don't think they need to go get a replacement, right? Like they don't need to go get David Ruffin to replace Paul. Right? They don't have to go get a David Ruffin to replace Paul. You know what I mean? Mr. Vince is in the building. What's good, man? Anybody in here know what I'm talking about? Like you don't have to go get a David Ruffin to replace Paul. Right? DSJ, the real DSJ knows what I'm talking about. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. Hey, Sherwin says we need a Batman, right? So Sherwin, what I'm going to say to you is this, right? What I'm going to say to you is this. Hey, and y'all got to excuse me for like using the pop culture references. That's just what we are, man. That's what I am, man. I'm corporate, I'm hip hop, and I'm sports. Right? I'm fashion. You know what I'm saying? I'm in all of that, man. I'm into like everything, bro. I like cars and clothes and shoes and jewelry and sports and music and movies. And so every now and then I got to use a pop culture reference. So DSJ knows what I'm talking about when I say we don't need to replace Paul with David Ruffin. All we need, in my opinion, at the moment, right, is a guy to come in and be a part of what we're already building. Right? You know, what we don't want to DSJ, what we don't want to do, DSJ, is disturb this groove. Because we're in a groove, right? We don't want to disturb this groove. And I wish there's a pop culture reference I could use about not disturbing this groove. I can't think of one just right offhand, but what we don't want to do, we don't want to rock the boat. Rock the boat, rock the boat. You know what I'm saying? If we could just bring somebody in here, like take off maybe some parts. Roll for rock, yeah. Yo, roll for rock. Roll for rock. Yo, my man, you got it, right? You got it. Okay. I was trying to be slick with it. Roll for rock, got it. Then hang the sign up on the door. Baby, don't disturb this groove. What's up, Dre?
What's up? What up, Freezy? I'm chilling. I
Yeah, man.
actually I agree with you. I wanted it. I had somebody in mind, by the
Okay.
way.
Okay.
Suppose the Utah Jazz go on their fire sale to ultimately bottom out.
Okay.
I would want to target like someone like Jared Vanderbilt, 6'8", 6'9", not really there to score, but to play elite defense. Very switchable. Can guard the elite wings, and he doesn't have a qualms of coming off of the bench for this
Okay.
particular team.
Right.
Like and that I feel like he has like one more year of controllability on his
Yeah.
deal. He doesn't make a ton of money, so it would probably be kind of hard to actually get him unless we were to just trade for Cam straight up, which I don't think they'd be interested in. But yeah, like a guy like Jared Vanderbilt would
Hey,
interest me.
that's basically giving Vanderbilt away.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, because they probably won't re-sign Cam, right?
oh no. Nah, they wouldn't. You'd
Yeah,
have to actually give them something of value.
yeah.
Like a heavily protected pick or something. Because he was a second round draft pick, but he's
Right.
worth more than
Yeah.
that now.
I remember him. All right.
Yeah.
Yo, you remember that Kentucky squad he was on with SGA, Kevin Knox, Hamidou
Yeah.
Diallo, William Gabriel?
All them long, rangy athletes on that team. Lanky dudes.
Yeah. And Kevin Knox ran the point for them the first 16 games of that season. We get the guy that didn't do nothing.
They didn't do anything on that team. He just carved niche he got to the NBA off of metrics because of how much of an athlete he was and his defensive propensity. But he never really had an offensive game. He still kind of doesn't, even though he's shooting solid numbers across the field, across the
Right.
board, but he's not necessarily shooting a lot of shots to get
Okay.
those percentages. I'm and to answer like someone in the chat, dude, I'm not sure we necessarily need another like scorer in like a vacuum. Like our main guys have been averaging 80 points like the last 10 games. The big three.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Our main guys, the big three, have been averaging near 80 points the last 10 games.
Yeah.
So like scoring isn't really a necessity as we might think it is. Coming into the season, we may have thought so, but the way these guys are playing, even when they have off shooting nights, they still get 20. All of them.
You know what? Is it just my imagination running away with me, or is this big three we have actually something dominant? Can we
Is it dominant or effective?
I know. I think it's what I was telling Mr. Rocket earlier, bro. And I'm not saying the fact is. I'm saying my perception of it is that our big three is like the gritty committee, scuffed up Tims and hoodies, right? Whereas other people's
champion
big
hoodies?
three, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, like we're not the pretty big three. We're the bullies.
But we were big three nonetheless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So DSJ, is it just my imagination? Like running away with me, is it just my imagination? I'm trying to figure it out.
Temptations right now? That's how you feel?
Huh?
Using the Temptations right now? Using the Temptations right now?
Me?
Yeah. Just my imagination.
Oh, you brought up a Temptation song. Okay, I got you.
Nah, you brought up the Temptation
I'm gonna see if I can find me a Temptation song to. Oh, okay. So Papa was a Rolling Stone. Don't fit right here, right? No, it don't.
Nah.
Okay, all right.
So the Super Hood Champion hoodie is the one where the hood has like a pointy top on the top.
Yeah. Yeah, and you take the regular thing out and put a shoestring in it around the thing. You Super Hood, yeah.
It's a super hoodie with a Able X jacket over it for the winner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Grand Uncle Vietnam camouflage jacket. You know
camos.
Yeah, super gritty. Yeah.
Because we don't necessarily, besides Brunson when he gets fancy footwork and his dribble, we don't necessarily score in the most pretty ways, but we are effective. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I feel like Jared Vanderbilt may work, but does he cut into the minutes of Jericho Samsonobi?
It would for Obi in particular. I feel like a lot of Sims minutes right now is literally used to buy 4 or 5 minutes each half for Randall to get rest. That's literally what we use the Sims for. at the current moment.
I would
And if Obi
love
were to come back, I feel like Sims would be completely out of the rotation.
who
And I
would
feel like
be Obi
Sims, Sims, Sims,
Sims.
Sims, Sims would be
You don't
completely out of the rotation.
so you don't like Sims?
I do like Sims. I'm just the way that I see Tibbs coaching and the way he utilizes Sims and his rotations, it really looks like he's running Sims out there, Sims and iHeart at the 4-5, really to
Okay.
buy Randall 4 minutes, 5 minutes to just blow from their
Yeah.
like each
So it's
half.
probably about so you talking about 12 minutes of real time for
Right,
Randall just
right.
to sit just 12 minutes straight where he can kind of rest and get himself back together. Yeah.
Yeah, like basically six in each half because he's still gonna play 36
Yeah.
minutes. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the reason they're out there just to give him blow because you can't run him into the ground because tired Randall makes mistakes. It's
Yeah.
just really what it is.
And so Guzman says it's growing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I see you. I see you. I see you. I ain't even going. Mm, yeah. I'm thinking
Uh,
about what you're saying. Don't I'm saying
like Jared Vanderbilt will probably cut into like Sims and Deuce's minutes, which we probably wouldn't like in the grand scheme of things. Like we like
right.
what Deuce does, but Deuce also doesn't play a ton of minutes either.
Okay.
So it's like it would probably be based on the fact that Tibbs knows that even like the potential of IQ on offense outweighs Deuce's just straight defensive potential. So he would probably opt in this type of rotation to put a Jared Vanderbilt in. Basically,
Okay.
how we use Cam, because Cam got minutes over Deuce before this whole rotation happened. But
Wow.
he would probably fit, like, he would probably fit a Tibbs defense, and he has the IQ for it. But it's kind of sketchy trying to figure out or predict Tibbs' rotations from game to
Bro.
game.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
if you get Vanderbilt, right? If you get Jared Vanderbilt, right? I'm telling Obi to get ready to sit the bench for the rest of the season, bro. Because Jared Vanderbilt brings all that stuff that Tibbs wants to see, bro.
100%.
Obi may as well pack his bags because it's over. He may as well just get ready to watch the game for the rest of the season because Jared Vanderbilt brings that crazy energy
All right.
that a lot of fours just not gonna bring. And he's kind of athletic too. So
Yeah, yeah. He's very athletic. I'm thinking of another like half power forward, half three, like hybrid type.
that's what
I'm thinking
I,
of another one. I think there was another one on the Wolves, but I forgot his name.
McDaniel.
Yeah, Jalen. Is it Jalen or Jaden? There's two of them.
Um um Jalen is in Minnesota. Jaden is in Charlotte.
Right. So I'm thinking Jalen. Jalen.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking
I think that's the better one. Jalen. Jaden is the better one.
the one in
Jalen
Minnesota
is.
is the better one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the older one too, I think.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean I get where you're coming from, man. I just man, what are we paying again?
Oh, what do we have to give up? What are you willing to give up, though? That's the question.
I don't want to give up nothing, bro. I don't really want to make moves, but if we gotta do something, bro. Oh, okay. It. I, all right. So if we gotta do something, bro, I don't know.
So, what kind of player would you add,
I
hypothetically,
would like
if you
a.
want
I
to
would
make
like
a
a.
move?
I would prefer. Okay. So first of all, I would prefer to shop around, right? That's what I want to do. I want to shop around, see what's on the market.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to canvas the landscape. You know what I'm saying, to see what's out there, what we can get that perfectly fits if we going in that direction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because my mama told me you better shop around. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you don't spend your chips on something that you could have got cheaply. I mean, you don't want to spend in overabundance for something you could have got cheap.
Right.
Because it may already been on the roster. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because like, yeah, that's the main reason I would target like a 6'8", 6'9" guy, because that's legitimately something that we miss on this roster. Because if it was
Right.
something else that we potentially have right under our noses, then that's not Cam, because clearly Cam is more than welcome.
Right.
Then I would
Right.
target something that's already not in our rotation or already not on this roster.
Okay.
Like, and I was listening to a Zach Lowe podcast, and I heard some of the most like ludicrous type stuff. Like Zach
Right.
Lowe on a podcast said, if OG Anunoby gets traded, his value would surprise people, and
Okay.
quote, the price and picks might be on almost with what the Cavs gave him for Donovan Mitchell. And I can't see any reality where where three picks
I
get
can see it.
involved.
I can
Three
see that.
picks,
Yes.
3 firsts, unprotected joints for OG and
I can
swaps.
see. I can see OG Anunoby turning Brooklyn into the flat out NBA champion.
Oh, but that's provided they already have a superstar. But that's a superstar type haul you asking for, and the
Yeah.
Nets don't even got picks. So, but
Yeah, they don't have picks. Yeah.
he would like if they were to replace him with Royce O'Neal, for example,
Uh,
it would change a lot for their ceiling because he's just a lockdown defender. I would love
hey, and
OG, but I don't know if I
yeah.
would give 3 picks. I don't know if I
Nah.
would do that because you have to pay him, and if you're giving
Yeah.
up 3 picks, you got to pay him a lot of money.
So DSJ says you don't want to be going in circles chasing what you might already have. I feel you, DSJ. DSJ talking about you got me going in circles. Right. But I ain't even gonna lie. Yo, man, listen. Knicks fans would be on cloud nine if we got OG Anunoby, bro.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because he seems like a Tibbs type player. He seems like a perfect fit. Right?
Yeah.
My only thing, man, is this, y'all. I don't want to replace Quentin Grimes with nobody. We got this far with Grimes. Let's see how far he can go.
I'm looking at Grimes, and for what he does, even though he may not take as many shots, he's almost like the optimal type of guard you want to put next to Brunson. Besides the super long 2 guard, he does everything else that you need for a guard that you want to put next to an undersized point guard that doesn't necessarily play amazing defense.
Right.
And then it would be like, are you asking to put RJ on the bench? And that's never going to happen.
That's never gonna
So,
happen.
so it's it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. I
It's tough.
mean,
It's tough to say.
when it comes to Grimes, man, it's like the old folk used to say, the love you save might be your own, right? Instead of going out chasing, like, just let Grimes rock, bro.
Let Grimes flourish in his current role. If he grows from it, we'll see that. Because there's been plenty of guys that have been stuck in Grimes's role and have grown from it and become more prominent in the league.
Right.
Like, hold on, I'm gonna mention a name. I'm gonna mention the name. I just have to look up his name on the roster. What's his name? Like a guy like Norman Powell. He basically like forced his way to be prioritized and used, and basically carved out a pretty good career in the league for what his skill set. And he wasn't really a scorer at first. He was just a defender, and
Oh
he
man,
built he built his offense up over time.
that
And then
Norman Powell. Where's Norman Powell at right now? Toronto.
Clippers. He comes off the
Oh,
bench for the Clippers, but he would start on a lot of other
see,
teams.
see, that deal right there should be easy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can get a Clippers Cam for Norman Powell should do it. And
I don't
not,
know. They really love him out in Clipperland. I'm not gonna lie to you.
but they already got
Like
two dudes that do the same thing he do.
they
It's
like
three of
the way
them:
they the
Terrence
way
Mann, BJ Boston, and my man. They
They
all
have
do the same thing.
Marcus Morris over there, they have Robert Covington, they have
Yep,
Nicholas Batum. It's a
yep,
lot of dudes over there, and from what I'm seeing over there, the expendable guy to them is Marcus Morris. Terrence
right.
Mann makes a tiny bit of money. They like re-sign up to a ton of years for the cheap, very cheap. Nicholas Batum is at the end of his leash, and Robert Covington is getting a little bit older as well.
Yeah,
They actually really like Norman Powell. He's just hurt right now.
yeah.
Like he averages 15 points a game for them.
Wow.
Like he's featured when he plays. He's
And
featured.
they have the shooting guard from Duke. Oh my God,
I know who you're talking about. White guy. Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard. Yeah, who
And
plays
he was
zero
out of the
defense.
Yeah, he was out of the rotation for a minute, but you're like
Right.
when you play for a coach like what's his name? Like
Toronto
Ty
Luke.
Lue, you
Yeah.
could be out of the rotation for a few weeks and then boom, you're right back in the rotation because he just tinkers with
He'll
things.
call your name. He'll call your name without warning, bro.
Yeah. So he's quick to tinker with his arrangements, his alignments, his rotations. He'll do it in a heartbeat. He'll do it from half to half if you let him.
Yeah. And so Sherwin says his targets are Brandon Ingram, who we'll never get, OG
Nah, he ain't going
Anunoby,
nowhere.
who we'll never get, and Trey Murphy,
Who
who
will
we
never
will
get?
never get. Yeah.
That man's on a rookie deal. He's
Yep. He
going
on a rookie
nowhere.
deal. And he's got a prominent role. Like the
Right.
Trey Murphy legit guards 1, 2s, and 3s. Herb Jones guards 2s and 3s. And I think they both can guard some 4s because they have the size to.
Yeah.
Right? Zion don't have to defend nobody. BI don't have to defend nobody, bro. I
And
mean,
the
they
thing is,
defend,
and Bi
but
actually can play some defenses. And Zion is not really a good defender. He can make
nah.
explosive plays and blocks and stuff.
Yeah.
On a play to play, he gets blown by and taken advantage of all the time.
Yeah.
But they pick up the slack for him with
But
ease.
but
So,
but Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, they guard all night long.
no
DSJ,
breaks,
they
no
guard
stops.
all night long. DSJ.
They're like they. It's kind of
Am I
funny.
just doing? Am I just
It's
doing Motown? Am I just doing Motown references? Am I just gonna do
yeah,
Motown references all night?
it,
That's what we doing.
it looks like it.
Okay.
If you see the Pelicans roster and look at like the Suns and the actual coaches, you can see like their idea of how they want to build the team is like almost identical. If you
Okay.
look at it from roster to roster, because they got the Cam Johnsons, they got the Michael Bridges. So of course the Pelicans were like, okay, we should just go get Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, make them prominent roles
Got
as
them in the
3 and D
same draft,
guys,
bro. In the
right?
same draft.
Back to back.
Bro, you know how frustrated I am every time I hear that?
And every time we pick someone over 6'7" in the draft, it's a mess. It's just, outside of Mitch, of course. Mitch and Sims.
DSJ. Every time I hear about that, I get uptight. Everything will be all right. So DSJ says, Unc is in his Motown bag. Is that what's going on? LOL. Yeah. That is what's going on, bro.
What up to AD?
AD was
What's up?
good, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
man.
just trying to figure out who is actually available and for what price. And it's like it's kind of hard because you also don't want to overspend because within reason it makes sense. Like unless we're competing for a title off the move, it kind of doesn't make sense. And we only really want to give up our junk, so it's it's hard.
Yeah. How do you feel about Pascal Siakam?
I think Pascal Siakam is a very good player. Did you see him tonight? Oh, against the Sixers. I don't know if you watched.
No, I didn't see. I didn't watch that. I watched Atlanta and Orlando.
Yeah. Oh, did you jump in with their
No, I was watching. I
Utah
was watching the
Hawks?
whole game.
Okay.
No, no,
And
no. I did. No, no, I didn't.
yeah, I
I
was
didn't.
watching a bit of their stuff, the reactions to that game, and just they eked that one out, almost blew it.
Talking about Atlanta.
Yeah,
Man, that dude Paulo Banchero got to be the lowest IQ player.
he's young,
Bro,
man. You got to give him a break. He wanted to be the hero. He wanted to be the
yeah,
hero.
yeah. He wound up being the GOAT.
Eesh. Not the
Yeah,
good goat.
no, not the good GOAT either.
I
Because
was watching.
fouling. So when is it ever a good idea to foul a jump shooter? Never.
Never a good idea.
So why would you even try it? Get close on the last shot of the game.
The funny part is it's the guy that he had beef with over the summer that he
Yeah,
fouled.
because they from Seattle. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I,
and then so they get a last. So then they get Murray goes to the free throw line, knock down both free throws, no sweat. Give Atlanta the lead by one. They draw up the play for Paolo with 1.7 seconds left. Guess what this fool do, Dre?
he dribbles away from the rim and take a
He
long
ta-
3-pointer.
he
When
dribbled the ball.
Look, yeah, like you could take. You remember that LeBron James play in the playoffs against the Pacers where he took one dribble, but it was like 2 seconds. He took one dribble and just bum rushed to the rim.
Yeah.
There is nobody on the Atlanta team at the current moment that could stay in front of Paolo. If they would have drew
Nobody.
up that and him going to the rim, it would have been an and one
Right.
regardless, or he
Right.
fouled. I don't know
Right.
why they drew him up to come away from the rim, knowing he's going to settle for the jumper at that point.
Bro, DSJ, it's a shame. It's a shame, bro.
Tears of a clown. Man, but to get back on your point about Pascal, I think Pascal's development in his games
AD was good.
is amazing.
Hey
Coming
man,
from
you
what he goes,
are
what
you
up,
gonna give
baby?
Markel? Are you gonna give Markel Fultz some love?
Markel Fultz was good tonight. I'll say
Markel
that. He
Fultz.
was going down. They couldn't stop him from going downhill. Not even that point guard that they got, the actual defender that just got fouled. Murray couldn't do nothing with him.
Or Hunter. This dude is
Nobody could do
fast,
nothing with
bro.
him.
This dude is
He looked
fast.
like he got his burst back. And it usually takes a couple years for it to get it back.
Yeah, that dude is
Nah,
fast, bro.
to answer Guzman in attack, it looks like Charlotte's gonna take Miles Bridges back. They'll just offer him a deal that isn't what he wanted.
Right.
Basically, like the Houston, you know what the Houston Rockets gave that point guard? They gave him like a deal like 1 year, but the rest of the years weren't uh, guaranteed.
Which
Forgot his
point
name.
guard? Which point guard you said?
On the Houston Rockets, that had the head case. He was drafted by the Cavs.
Johnson. I know you're talking about the 6'4" dude. He a shooting guard, but he played point.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
They gave him because he's a head case. They gave him like 1 year front loaded, and then he gave him a ton of years on the other end, but they weren't guaranteed because he's a head case.
Right.
So I think they're gonna end up doing that for Miles Bridges, where they're gonna give him like a 4 year deal for like 70 million, and like 1 year is guaranteed, but the rest of the years aren't guaranteed. Like he might what Adam Silver might do is whenever he gets signed, they're gonna just suspend him for 20 games or something like that.
Yeah, I
Off
think
top.
he gonna get like 40.
Ooh.
Yeah, he gonna get like AD,
But
what's good, bro? You in the house?
What's going on, gentlemen? Uncle Freezy.
what up?
Man, Dre up
What's
here,
good, man?
Dre up here dropping these Motown references.
There is no way Miles Bridges is signing for 4 years. When has Charlotte ever shown that they knew anything about contracts and anything like that? When has Michael
I
Jordan
mean,
ever shown?
I mean, they
And
don't. I mean, they knew
one
enough
case.
not to sign Kemba. They knew enough not to give Kemba that money, if that's fair.
Well, they couldn't predict that. I mean, injuries is a part of the game. That's not fair. They couldn't predict that.
Well, I mean, they
Kemba
couldn't
was
predict it,
second
but
team.
they knew he was going downhill at that point, and he was asking for like max. So they were like, "Why would we do that? You can leave."
That dude
Well,
crazy, bro.
I mean, like I said, he wasn't injured there with them. Kemba was second team all team. If anything, he was a prize commodity and they let him walk. They gave that money. He gave that money to what's the name from the Celtics. He gave him what a 5-year
who
deal.
who are we talking about? Hayward, right?
Hayward.
Yeah,
He gave
yeah.
Hayward like a
Oh, that was a
5-year
trash. Speaking of
5-year
injuries,
deal
that man's hurt every year.
coming off of a broken leg, a year removed from a broken leg,
Right.
and you let Kemba walk out the door because you suspect he may get injured. Michael
Yeah.
Jordan has never been he's the greatest ball player on the floor, but he's the worst general manager, worst executive.
He Elgin Baylor. Remember Elgin Baylor?
Oh my God, him and Elgin in the same seat.
Yes.
They riding coach. They
Yes.
riding coach next to each other.
Isaiah Thomas is not too far, man.
Right there. They three-seaters.
You know who else was? You know who else was bad, and people forget? Willis Reed. Willis Reed destroyed teams, bro.
Who was he a GM for? I
He
didn't
was
know. I didn't know he was an executive.
GM for the Knicks and the Nets.
And the Nets.
When?
And
Yeah.
the Nets.
He
In the
was
70s, 80s?
Yes.
I didn't know
Bro,
this.
yes. All I'm gonna say is when you think Willis Reed, think Kurt Rambis. Thank you, Willis Reed.
Well, Willis did draft what's the name from Oklahoma for Mookie Blaylock.
Mookie Blaylock. That was a good pick.
He did make
But he also drafted Kenny Anderson.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't fault him for that.
No, I mean, you know. They did acquire Drazen Petrovic.
There's a lot of guys, but he wasn't there for that.
Okay.
He wasn't there for that. He was already,
They probably got rid of him.
That's Rod Thorne. Yeah, he wasn't there for that.
Okay.
But there's a lot of guys that have been given who was the Billy King?
Oh, Billy King.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Billy King.
Yeah.
Sunk the Nets. How they're still standing today is a miracle. It's a miracle in itself.
I know one that's a terrible one. Billy Knight. Billy Knight was terrible. Picking. Who was that? Who's that guy from UNC that they picked over Chris Paul? The Atlanta Hawks. Oh my God. Marvin something.
Marvin
Yes.
Williams. Marvin
Williams number
They took
2.
Marvin Williams over Chris Paul.
By the Utah Jazz.
Yeah,
My.
and Deron Williams.
And Darren.
That was Billy Knight. Billy Knight was.
Oh, for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's a general manager that drafted, tractor trailer.
Yes. You know who did that? You know who did that, right? Donnie Nelson.
Yeah.
Donnie Nelson drafted Robert Trailer and traded him to Milwaukee for the rights to Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, he was smart.
Yeah, I'm talking the Milwaukee GM was an idiot.
It's Milwaukee. I don't understand. I think they were in love with the whole round forward Glenn Big Dog Robinson type of guy. For some particular reason, they thought it worked for them. But Robert Tractor Trailer.
It
a
looked good on
player that
paper,
was
though.
no, it did not.
No. So hear me out, because they were starting Lee Mayberry, Todd Day, Big Dog, and Vin Baker.
How were you gonna get tractor trailer? First of
That's
all,
a lot of power forwards, man.
yeah, that's one. That's one. You know, only the Knicks could justify topping that in later years. But two, when you saw tractor trailer, you know, there's a reason why he had that name, tractor
Right,
trailer.
right.
That
What
was a
gave you
big
the
name.
vibe that he was going to be a good NBA player?
What gave you the vibe that
Nothing.
he was gonna be disciplined enough
Right.
to be in the kind of physical shape
He
it would
was
take to be an
6'9",
NBA player?
310 at Michigan.
At best 310. He probably was closer to 350.
Probably closer to 350, bro.
Big dude.
Yeah,
It kind of reminds me of what Isaiah Thomas did when he drafted Michael Sweetney and gave Tim Thomas a contract.
You know what? Isaiah did not draft Michael Sweetney.
He did. He
That's
didn't
the
draft Michael
one.
Sweetney.
No, that was Layden.
that was
That's
That was
the
Layden?
one thing. Yeah, that was
Okay.
Layden. That's the
So
one thing we
what?
can't pin
Did
on.
Layden give the Tim Thomas contract? Or was that
I
Isaiah?
think
Layden was
Isaiah.
Glenn Rice,
Yeah.
Shandon Anderson, Howard Isley era.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Tim Thomas is Isaiah. The funniest thing is he trades for Tim Thomas. The one successful period that he had was his first season. He trades for Tim Thomas. He trades for Nazim Muhammad. And within 6 months, he falls out of love with both of them and trades them both.
Yeah.
Because I do know we traded Michael Sweetney and Tim Thomas for Eddie Curry. I do know that. And Antonio Davis. And
Yeah, he just doubled down. That's after like a week or two before he signed Jerome James. Yeah, Breezy, you should have saw your face.
You know how you know when something bad is coming, ain't nothing you could do about it. You know what I'm saying? When you know something bad, get ready, like when somebody get ready to say something hurtful, ain't nothing you could do about it. And you just like, oh boy.
If Sherman said Tim Thomas, he was a good contract year player.
No, he was, and what it is Don. I think it was, who was the Knicks coach? They were trying to turn him into the Knicks coach, and the Sixers coaches were trying to turn him into this new thing called point forward, even though point forward had already existed, right? But they were trying to turn him into this thing called point forward. And the dude was like, nah, I don't want to play power forward and handle the ball. I don't want to be Turkoglu before Turkoglu. I just want to be a small forward with low usage.
He was a big small forward for the era.
Yeah, he was crazy.
Super sized forward.
That dude could have been Turkoglu before Turkoglu. But
Yeah, because I remember when he was on the Bucks, like his ceiling was sky high, and then it just stagnated.
Yeah.
He liked the limelight more than he liked actually playing. When he came to the Knicks, he loved being in New York because he's a Queens kid. So
he was from the area, but the thing I remember him with Milwaukee. He's the kind of player that when you have really good players on your team, there are nights he can carry you.
Yeah.
There are nights that you'll be like, damn, he need more minutes.
Right.
It's until he gets more minutes, you realize
oh no.
he doesn't need more minutes. Right. You know, he talented as all heck. Tim Thomas was talented as all heck. His claim to fame,
jumper.
Yeah, his claim to fame in the New York Knicks uniform, excellent passer, could shoot the three. His claim to fame is calling Kenyon Martin Fugazi.
Fugazi, yeah. He should get his jersey retired just for that.
Just for that?
Yeah, I remember that. Hilarious.
Just for that. After he gets knocked out, Kenyon Martin clotheslined him, I think, in game 1 of that of Isaiah's lone playoff season,
Where we
which
got
is
swept.
with Lenny Wilkins as the coach,
Yeah.
mind you. That's a name that we never discussed. Lenny Wilkins
Oh
was
God.
the
Lenny
head
was in-
coach of that team.
Lenny was in.
They forced Lenny out.
Yep.
Remember, they retired Lenny like
Yep.
the following season,
Yep.
like not even midway. You know, it's like Lenny's not feeling well. He's not gonna be able to make sure.
Yeah. They were on this whole Lenny Wilkins done got old before our eyes thing. Yeah.
They did the same thing to Larry Brown.
Larry, every time, man. See what I mean?
It's like back then, the Knicks
Yo,
didn't
they
care
took him out
about
on
having
a-
the oldest roster in the league or the oldest coaches, man. We were just out here. It was vibes and old players and old coaches.
AD, you know they took that man out on a stretcher, right?
He's on a gurney. He
On a
stole
gurney.
money.
He
Stole money.
Oh
you know,
my
it was see, the thing is, and I know someone who he always tells me, AD, you wanted Larry Brown. I said, yeah, I remember at the time because they needed credibility. They needed someone that seemed like who knew X's and O's, who knew what he was doing. The man does have a world championship, and it wasn't too far from it. Okay, why not? Why not bring him in? Little did I know that he was gonna he was gonna have more starting lineups in one season than any other coach in the history of the New York Knicks.
Until Fizdale.
Never seen anything like it. It's
Was
horrible.
Did Larry Brown coach Nate, or was that after?
Yes, he did coach Nate.
Right, he had Nate in the doghouse, didn't he?
He had Nate. I think he had Nate like Nate's first season.
Yeah,
They were like,
Yeah.
they were trying to turn Marty Collins into the point guard. Remember?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh
Marty
my God.
Collins.
Oh my God, bro.
Where did Collins come from? Illinois, I think. Was it Illinois he went to something?
Something like that. Let me look it up.
But he was like a second round pick. He showed a little something.
Yep.
The next thing you know, I'm hearing Walt. I heard Walt Frazier say this live on TV that he was gonna ask the Knicks permission to work with Marty Collins. I heard Walt Frazier, your hero, say this live on TV.
Because he was tired of seeing that trash, man.
Yes. I never heard Walt stick out for any other player since then, but
Right.
Walt Frazier did say that.
Marty Collins went to Temple.
Man, Marty Collins was like if you played my GM in 2K, he's like a user created, like a computer created like 2K character. He even look like one too. He's not a real person, man.
Yeah, and and the thing about it is the hype around him is some of us thought he was going to be better than Wilson Chandler.
Oh wow.
Yes, man.
The ironic part is we got Wilson Chandler out that Bulls deal. The only good thing out of that Bulls deal for that center slipped on the
Wilson
line.
was
Eddie Curry.
really an afterthought.
Yeah.
He got his mellow.
Yeah.
Well, he was a part of that package. His problem as a general manager, and this is Isaiah, he knew talent. He didn't know when to strike for the talent.
Right.
And he would get an abundance of it, of pieces that didn't make sense. Remember, he traded for Malik Rose.
Yep.
Oh my God! Just because he won a title with
because he won a title with the Spurs.
Because we needed leadership. But you know what?
Because we needed leadership. Like,
I remember.
Who was he gonna lead? Who was he?
He traded for Malik Rose, right? He traded for Malik Rose at the same time. We had a bunch of 6'7" power forwards.
Yes.
Othello Harrington's Clarence Witherspoon.
Oh my God. Oh my God, bro.
Speaking of Othello, every time I see him on the bench, I'll be like, why? Why is he here?
Why?
Who asked? This is what happens when people take advantage of James Dolan loyalty.
Right.
That man must have said one real nice compliment to James Dolan in 05. And James is like, you know what?
It's about
You
life
could-
after basketball.
Yep.
You can
Yep.
get this little 500,000 a year
That's right.
assistant
That's right.
coach's job over
That's
here, man.
right. That's right.
Oh my
The
God, bro.
bills got to get paid. You
Yep.
know, your wife need a new pair of shoes,
Yep.
and all of that good stuff is about
Kids
life
got to
after
go to
basketball.
school.
Kids
Field
got to
trip
go to
tomorrow.
school.
You got to
That's
make sure you
right.
take care of yourself.
Life after basketball. That's right.
That
And
that
once
Yep.
you get out of the fraternity, you never get back
You
in.
never get back in, bro.
Ask Kermit Washington.
Yes.
that pension don't hit. That pension don't hit like the salary does.
No, no.
Bro, think about that, man. We had Maurice Taylor, Mike Sweetney, Kurt Thomas, Jerome Williams,
On
Van
one team.
Baker.
Junkyard Dog.
Oh my God.
On one team.
Allen
That's
Houston.
That's
Oh
like
God.
that's like bad jumbo or
Yes.
bad gumbo.
Nazi
The thing
Muhammad,
the thing that blew my mind about Junkyard
Bruno
Dog
Sundorf.
was
Oh my God.
Junkyard Dog would go to every All-Star game like he was really cool with these players.
And just be the hype man.
Bro, you a millionaire. Go on a vacation. You got a family, bro. Why are you going to the All-Star game? Watch it on TV on a yacht or something. Like, what are you doing? Man comes to every All-Star like
He found his niche.
Yeah.
He found his niche.
I think he still works for the NBA, right?
He was JYD.
Does he?
I believe he still does.
Yeah.
I believe he still does.
Yeah.
Again, someone that didn't make himself into, an annoyance to the league. He's still in the fraternity.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. AD, who we trying to trade and get, bro?
Don't ask me questions like that. You better ask that Dre. Ask Dre. Don't ask me questions like that. Don't ask me questions like that. You should know better than ask me questions like that. No. How you gonna be? Who are you trading? You on a 7-game winning streak. What are you talking about?
I know. You know. I'm in that boat. I'm in the boat where you let Grimes and McBride and quickly play until they prove that you need to make an improvement. Right. But unfortunately, we are about 7 weeks away, 6 weeks away from the trade deadline. And
but we usually make a deal a month before it even happens.
Yeah.
If you don't make them, all right, play GM here as we always do. If you don't make a move, a significant move, it's because you believe that these guys are gonna make a significant step. That would be unwise for them to take to take that stance. That would be unwise.
So okay.
But there's also a balance in it because what if they not necessarily take a great step, but improve or bolster their value where they can be flipped or moved in the offseason for something better? Then what? Because at this point, if Grimes continues this type of play for the next 20, 25 games, he has real value in the NBA. Beyond like how we thought we mockingly said he was untouchable. He would have actual tangible value and high volume of minutes where another team would be like, I would like this elite perimeter defense on my team. And it wouldn't be so bad if we traded this, that, and the third in a bigger deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a balancing act.
Unless, let's say he goes on like what Brunson did last year for Dallas. If you're saying he goes on a pace like that,
no. I'm just saying he can be an elite role player. And in the NBA, elite role players make $80 million contracts or something like that.
Right.
But elite
And that has value in the league. Yeah, and that has value in the league. Like for instance, Michael Bridges makes like $90 million. He's not a star, but he's an elite role player.
That's a lot of money too.
It is, but I think he's worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, no doubt.
Okay, I'm here for it. It's not like you don't have $80 million on the bench right now. I'm here for it.
Right. Just sitting, chilling.
I'm here for it. Yo, that man is just sitting there collecting a check feet up. I'm good.
Right.
Look, man, you think he checks his phone on these West Coast trips and sees that direct deposit while he's on the bench?
Nah, he get the alert straight to his phone.
Straight to his phone.
Yeah, the alert comes
Straight
straight to his phone. You know what I'm saying?
Straight to his phone.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's
But I would look at. I ain't gonna lie to you. I honestly would look at Orlando. Right. The other night I said,
Orlando
Jonathan
will
Isaac,
not answer
if
your
that's
phone
too
call.
if that's too steep, you know what I'm saying, Jonathan Isaac, they don't want. I'll see if I can get Gary Harris.
Orlando will not answer your phone call.
For Gary Harris? Gary Harris is afterthought over there.
Gary
Okay.
Harris can be acquired for Cam Reddish straight up.
If I'm Orlando, I don't do nothing for the next 2 years.
Really?
No, I only do nothing for the next 2 years. I got young studs down there. That's the future of this league.
Right.
I don't do nothing but keep collecting talent. I don't have to do anything. I got my guys on their rookie deal.
Right.
I got young, the future of this league.
Okay.
Why am I talking to you?
I'm seeing it looks like Anthony Davis injury might keep him out longer than a month. So like the Lakers might just completely be off the table for making any deal and just wait out the Westbrook contract and just go all in free agency or something.
But LeBron would be a year older.
Yeah.
Hey man. He would be a year older, but I don't think they're competing this year at all.
No.
If AD's hurt. If AD's hurt, of course. That's what I'm saying.
But when is AD hurt?
Exactly. So it took a lockout to stop AD from being hurt and for that title run. So not a lockout, but a season stoppage.
Immensely talented. He's just, I don't know if it's his physical off-season training or lack thereof, or he was just born like this. The man has never played. I don't think he's played 70 games. I don't think he's ever had a multiple 70 game season.
I'm keeping it a buck. You're not supposed to be 7 foot tall and move the way he does. Like it's just.
I said it yesterday.
It goes against the laws of physics, man. Like you're eventually gonna get hurt.
You know, he reminds me of Ralph Sampson, right?
Yeah.
I said it yesterday.
Not the way that he plays, but I'm talking about how when you say Ralph Sampson's name, you're like either he's hurt or about to get hurt. That part.
But when he's on the court, he's dominant, but he's also not always on the court.
It's what you're trying to do on the court. Look at who is, in my opinion, clearly the best center in the league, Joker. The man dropped 40, 27, and 10.
Right.
Let that sink in for a minute.
Without jumping over yellow pages.
Without jumping over near nobody.
Right.
And dominating the offense, dominating the defense. Someone asked, who would you take, him or Embiid? I'm like, what is this, a joke?
Easily Joker.
Are you serious? Easily Joker.
Okay.
I would still take Embiid on the Knicks if he was trying to come over here, but in the grand scheme,
I'm talking about player for player.
Yeah. Joker. He might win MVP again this year, which is
I wouldn't be surprised.
He may, and if he does, he's automatically in the Hall of Fame.
I think he's already. I mean, it's easy to get into the basketball.
He's not there. It's easy to get basketball, but he's not there yet. He's not.
If he wins the MVP, if he wins a third MVP, he in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Bro, I think he medals. I think Slovenia got a medal in his most recent Olympics. Did it? I think so. I think they placed. But either way,
right? And they
either way, as an international player, even as an international player, because there's guys that made 5 All-Star games and got into the Hall of Fame. He got 2 MVPs. Like it's already.
Yeah, he's already going.
Like Mo Cheeks is in the Hall of Fame.
Yo,
Like
why you joking though? Mo Cheeks is
I'm
that
not saying Mo
dude, bro.
Cheeks. I'm not saying Mo Cheeks wasn't elite, but
Yeah.
the body of work isn't that long.
Hey man, Mo Cheeks could have scored 40 points a night if he wanted to,
I
but he
believe it.
didn't.
He could
But
have
he
been
didn't.
a much better scorer. That just wasn't his role.
Yeah, his thing was on ball defense.
Yeah, that
And,
just
and distributing.
and putting the team together.
Yeah. Mo Cheeks could have scored. I saw that dude rip Magic Johnson like so clean. He looked like a fishbone.
Yeah.
He ripped, man. Him and Michael Ray Richardson probably had the quickest hands. I mean, just you dribbling, next thing you know, my man laying it up. You're like, what? Yeah.
You want an all-star. You want a team.
Speaking-
You want a team like that.
Freezy. Speaking of like the guy you compared him to, Arvydas Sabonis is in the Hall of Fame, and he has his record speaks for itself, but
Yeah.
2 MVPs is it heavily outweighs every other thing that Arvydas has ever done, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
But and Sabonis, I think Sabonis had Euro MVPs too before he came over.
Right.
Before he started breaking his foot.
Right.
Yeah. Again, another big that breaks his leg.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I man, I ain't gonna lie. I would say if the Knicks had to do something, I gotta get a veteran. I need a washed up veteran point guard. And
You already got one.
And a wingman. Right.
You already got one.
No. Derrick Rose is a washed up veteran scorer. He's not a point guard, bro. Derrick Rose ain't a point guard.
He's not a point guard
Nah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that ain't no point guard, bro.
Let's entertain us. Where are you gonna find this washed up veteran point guard?
Off the scrap heap.
Okay.
That's where they hang out at.
No, I guess my question is, do you plan on playing this washed up veteran point guard?
Not many minutes.
Okay.
I would go get Rajon Rondo right now.
To do what exactly? To wave the towels? What is he gonna do? Exactly.
Probably.
See, I'm not trying to be, facetious and stuff like that, or maybe I am. You have these young guys that they need all the minutes that they can get.
Right. And I'm gonna give them to them too.
That's it. Not Derrick Rose, not Rajon Rondo, not nobody
Ricky
else.
Rubio.
Not Ricky Rubio.
Right.
Where's DJ Augustine at?
Not DJ Augustine.
Where's Jeff Teague at?
Not Jeff Teague. Let these guys cook.
I'm with you on the AD. I'm not. I wish there was a song that can encapsulate what I'm talking about. Don't disturb this groove. I wish somebody wrote a song about that. Like, let this thing just cook, right? Just let this thing, whatever this thing is,
whatever it is
that's going on, just
slow simmer.
Just hang a sign up on the door. Don't disturb this groove. That's what we need to do right now with this team.
Because the feeling's so real.
I can't get him by AD. I keep forgetting. AD know everything music.
Yeah, that system. Stop playing.
I forgot. Okay, all right. You got me. Okay. I can't get it past you, right? But what I'm saying
you probably take someone like Corey Joseph just to be on the bench and just exist.
It's easy, bro. It's easy.
Yo, where's my dude that was the great 15th man off the bench from 2 years ago? That was he would run and pick everybody up off the floor.
Theo Pinson.
Yes, Theo.
Yeah.
Go get back Theo. Where's Theo? What Theo doing?
You mean the guard version of Junkyard Dog? That guy?
Yes.
I need them just in case. Like for instance, the Indiana game.
Right.
The Indiana game was too close for comfort because when you rested Randall, RJ, and Brunson, the second unit couldn't figure out what to do offensively. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In theory, in theory, all they really had to do was go to Hartenstein in a post. Just post up Hartenstein and spread everybody else out, and then cut, and then let Hartenstein wind down the clock. One, two, take advantage of the crazy size mismatch. Isaiah Jackson and Hartenstein, bro. Isaiah Jackson is like what 6'9", 220. Isaiah Johnson and Hartenstein is like what 7 foot 250.
Yeah, Hartenstein would have put him in the rim as a
Right,
post up if he wanted to.
right. But a veteran point guard recognizes these things like, yo, we struggling. None of us can take our man off the dribble. Blah, blah, blah. Let's take advantage of that, whether you like Hartenstein or not, right? Because you
Ish
can't
Smith
let
would help, like an Ish.
issues in Denver buried on the bench,
Right.
right? But I could see a Ish Smith addition. I would. I was Dre during the summer. You know how I was pounding the table for
Who?
Tomas
Ish?
Satoransky,
I like Tomas as far as a role
right?
player.
As far as a role play go, because he gonna come off the bench and he gonna play the 1, 2, and 3, right?
Hard.
He gonna
He's
play.
gonna play
Yep,
hard.
yep. And at 6'7", he's a pretty good defender, right? You probably wouldn't have had to pay him no money. You know what I'm saying? But
Or like a Raul Neto or something like that.
yeah. And
I
so
think you got to let Grimes and quickly figure this thing out. Crazy.
You mean Deuce?
In that, yeah,
Or
in
no,
that, in
no,
that
not
back,
Grimes. Grimes is still the
not
starter now.
Grimes. I'm skipping.
Deuce.
McBride, Deuce, and quickly figure this thing out.
Right.
That's
But
their minutes.
I'm not chopping into their minutes, bro. What I'm saying is they could still play, right? We can run out the Smurf lineup, right? The Smurf lineup with because in theory the person being affected is not them, it's RJ. RJ is the one playing minutes with the second unit while we go 9 deep. When we go 10 deep, RJ still play with the starters, right? And you have a veteran point guard getting good looks for Emmanuel Quickly and Miles McBride, right? And then you still see it's not like one of them deals where I'm trying to figure out a way how to compare it.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
like
playing them. That's playing. That's thinking that you're gonna play both of those guys off the ball.
yeah, but what I'm saying is not even that long. I need a veteran on the floor with them, right? Because the second unit is a kindergarten field trip, bro. Name the vet on the second
Realize
unit.
you do. Everybody's a vet. You do realize there's no first year player on the team.
I do understand that.
You do realize? Okay.
But what we want to take into account is not the number of years on your contract, but the number of games played in the NBA. If you go by the number of games, like Grimes has only played 65 games in the NBA. Miles McBride has played less than 65.
Yeah, but
Right?
this is one of those times though, Freezy, and I would be with your argument maybe 90% of the times. But this is one of those times where I think if you don't have a significant upgrade at what you're talking about,
Right.
or a significant upgrade in what I hoped for them to do,
Right.
then let those guys figure it out. Like in those moments that you're talking about, how are they going to get to be grizzled and ready for a playoff run if we pluck them for someone who's a grizzled vet who may have a good game today and then will play 4 straight games of subpar, inconsistent. This is where you gotta. When I watch Quickly, there's some days I watched him. He makes me think he gets it, and there's some days I watch him. I'm like, he doesn't know how to set up this team at all.
Right.
And those are the days, I guess, you got to see him through some of this, unless you're going to make a significant upgrade.
Okay. Okay.
Deuce, the same thing. The one thing with Deuce is you're getting what? Superior defense.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying, I guess you understand what I'm saying, but what I'm saying
Absolutely.
is have bring in a Eddie Johnson, a Quinn Buckner type point guard, right? Um, Not even Mo Cheeks type because Mo Cheeks was too good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know. Um, a Henry Bibby. That's what we need.
Did you say
Say an
Henry?
afro.
Yes, his Afro pose at 360 degrees, like so that make him the light skinned Richard Roundtree. Yeah, him with the cootie cutter shorts and all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if you brought in a Henry Bibby, what does it do for the team?
Settle down that second unit offense, bro.
Okay.
It's not you're not bringing in a teacher per se. You're bringing in a mentor. You know what I'm saying? And not even for a bunch of minutes. I just, man. That like when you watch the end of that Sacramento game, when the Kings were down by 12, and we couldn't generate offense, we solely depended on defense. You were like, yo, we got to go get us a second unit point guard, bro.
Man, that
We
was
couldn't
looking
even.
like a 2003 Knicks game.
They were running.
Towards the
They were legit out there running four corners. They was running Dean Smith four corners because they couldn't get a shot. You know what I'm saying? You got to have somebody like at least settle ever. You know who would have been great? Sean Livingston.
right, right. I'm just trying to. You know who actually probably? Well, he's not available, but Slow Mo, guys on the Wolves, but he's injured now. Him,
Yeah.
Slow Mo.
How are you that slow and always hurt? I don't get
He's
it.
out right now with a back injury.
It's because you're that slow. You're always in the way.
Right.
It's like you trying to cross, a 4-lane highway with Ferraris coming at you.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
get hit.
And he out there with church shoes on. That's 2 sizes too small.
Two sides is too
He
small.
Well,
out there tiptoeing.
he's playing in bowling shoes,
Bowling shoes.
man. Big
Wow.
bowling shoes.
Wow. And so my thing, AD, is not that I want to disrupt the chemistry because I don't want to disturb the groove, but I do feel like if there is a room for improvement, that is a place where the improvement can be made.
I think you.
At
I
least
think you ride
consider it.
that. I think you ride that out.
I'm with you.
I think you. Yeah. I mean, especially at this point where Tibbs found something. It's one thing that even the best of us who want some change and stuff like that. You have to give it to him and say, well, hey, he found something that works.
Yeah.
And you could see the chemistry on the floor quite easily.
I got a question. Why doesn't Eric Bledsoe have a job? Probably because he doesn't want one. That's my only. Because he probably doesn't want to take like $5 million to sit on the bench somewhere. That's probably what it is.
At this point in his career, that's what Eric Bledsoe is.
Yeah. What does Eric?
And if he had embraced that,
He would have a job
I thought he was a perfect fit for Milwaukee at the time.
Yeah, he was, but it was like a certain ceiling that they hit, and Milwaukee identified it that they needed an upgrade from him to get to the next level.
But him as a player, he's been one of those players to me, especially at that position, at a PowerPoint position, where he has all the tools, all them 5 tools. He's always like frustrated me because I thought he could take his game to that next level.
It was a jumper that did him in. It was the jumper
had
yeah.
even
It was the jumper.
he could to
And
me he
and
could have been
help.
as good as Westbrook.
True.
Yes. Yes.
He could have been as good as Westbrook. You know, I saw that there's a difference. Westbrook has that, you know, whether you like his game or not, but he, especially in his prime, those prime years, he had that tenaciousness. And I
Right.
thought that Bledsoe, for all his athletic gifts, I'm like, dude, you should be better than this, man. What is going on with
But
you?
he's small though, bro.
They called him
Eric
Baby
Bledsoe's.
Braun because he was like a 5'10" LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay,
he was explosive as hell though. He played bigger than 5'10" at least.
whose frame would you rather have, his or John Morant's?
Oh, definitely his.
Yeah, his.
John
But
Moran is little, bro.
Okay, okay.
they both
So
get hurt though.
and he played above the rim
Physical.
for his at his position, 1, 2, or 3 at his position in his peak athletically.
He played physical. He played physically on defense too because he wasn't a slouch on defense.
He'd been better than that. Like
he was really
had
good at
2
defense actually.
chops, and I'm like, what is going? What am I missing here with you? What are teams missing here with you?
Right. Hey, AD, just real quick. Just a side note, man. I'm looking at a list of the 1970s greatest players of all time, and these jokers have Walt Frazier ranked 17.
Who's ahead of him?
Who are the 16 in front of?
Tiny Archibald is ranked ahead of him.
No, I'm not gonna put Tiny ahead of him.
No. There is no way.
I mean, I could see I could see it, but I wouldn't. He's the leader of the team of the decade.
There is no. This website is stupid. Let me get out of here before if I mess around and flip out, bro. I was on the verge.
That's not a bad argument, though. I mean, that's not an insult. It's not an insult.
Tiny Archibald.
Yeah, it's not an insult. Nate Tiny Archibald. That's not an insult.
You know why they call him Tiny, right?
Because he's not big.
Because he never showed up in a big game.
That's not true.
That is very true.
That's not true.
Don't talk to me about the Celtics championship.
He leads the Celtics resurgence. Remember that first Larry Bird championship.
Did he?
Yes, that first Larry Bird championship. Tiny's the starting point.
I know who the starting point guard. I know.
Okay.
You're gonna talk to me about
leads that resurgence.
Him and Cornbread Maxwell.
Yeah,
I
know.
I know, man.
You know, so he has hardware.
Man.
You know, it's not an
who you take, Tiny Archibald or Calvin Murphy?
Tiny Archibald.
You're right. It's not even close.
Tiny Archibald. That's not Calvin Murphy. He's the original small guy, but I'm taking Tiny Archibald.
Right. I just, man, for my money, if I gotta say a point guard's name, I'm not even saying Tiny Archibald. And I know Tiny Archibald played for the Kings and all that. I know that. Right. And I know the Celtics and Lakers used to poach players. Right. But I think JoJo White is the most underrated point guard to ever play basketball, bro.
But and not to knock you with that, but as time goes on, Freezy, there's a lot of these guys that we're gonna lose sight of in their greatness.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a lot of guys that even for short spells, you know, there's guys that don't remember Gilbert Arenas. I was arguing with someone, like about a year or two ago. And I was like, "Well, look at his shooting percentage." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right. I can't talk to you anymore,
right?
Because you obviously didn't have ESPN. Your cable wasn't working because nightly was sending people home.
Yeah, everybody.
Right. Nightly.
Right.
Okay. Dynamic scorer.
So a dude was challenging me on in their primes. Who would you prefer, Arenas or Allen Iverson? Right, and I was like, okay,
What?
I can,
I was
but
gonna
not,
say. Go ahead, dude.
but now he's talking about in terms of impact and change, and I understand that. I don't even want to talk about neither one of them. What I want to say is this: but Dre, you don't know who JoJo White is, right? I'm assuming that
I know who he is, but
you probably
I don't
heard the
have.
name before, right?
Yeah,
But okay, you ever played NBA 2K?
yeah,
All right, so when your point guard stands still on the court and all that
right.
stuff that he do, like the 2K rock,
Yeah,
that's JoJo White. That's JoJo White. JoJo White introduced that to the game, bro. It's like when you look at the logo on the NBA logo, people know that's Jerry West, but they don't know who Jerry West is. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So like what I'm saying is there's a point guard era of Bob Cousy, Oscar Robertson, Tiny Archibald, Clyde Frazier, all them guys. You know the guys that used to back you down all the way down the floor, turn your man, all of that, right? It's those point guards, right?
Right.
And then JoJo White was here's the thing: when you think JoJo White, think of his lineage. See, because Oscar Robertson birthed the Magic Johnson type point guards. Magic Johnson, John Stockton, all of them that protected the basketball with their back, shielding a man, right?
And he's like the guy with the size up dribble.
Yeah,
If
JoJo White is your
yeah,
Rod Strickland, Kyrie
right.
Irving point guard,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
I want you to reach, I dare you to reach, right? I want you to attempt to steal this ball so that I can finger roll over your big man all night,
Right.
right? Whereas the other point guard, like when you watch 2K, right, and you just see the guard just dribbling like this, it look like all nonchalant.
Yeah,
JoJo White,
it's basically called like a size up or just your
right?
natural way you just dribble the ball facing the
Nobody
defender.
did that before JoJo White, bro. Nobody did that
Everyone was
before
trying to
JoJo White.
protect the ball backing in
Eh,
from
Right,
half court.
right. And his
No
coaches
one was loose with the ball.
didn't like him. They thought he was nonchalant. Right? He wasn't nonchalant. He cared. He was like people was like, man, he don't he don't care. Look at him. But my man was like, I'm bigger, faster, quicker, more athletic, more skilled than everybody. So I don't have to do that.
Right.
He like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving don't have to protect the ball like this because if you reach, he gone. He burnt rubber. He done peeled out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I hear Tiny Archibald, respect to Tiny Archibald, right? But when I think about the greatest point guard in Celtics history, I don't think Dennis Johnson. I don't think Tiny Archibald. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Rajon Rondo.
Think Kuzi,
You know, I
right?
don't think Bob Cousy. Nah,
Whoa, we think JoJo.
I think JoJo White. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you weigh things that revolutionize the game
Right.
more, like guys that change how the game is perceived or played. So
Right.
you probably like, for instance, you probably may view Steph higher than most cats your age would probably view because of what he's done to how the game is played generally. Even though you may not agree with everyone taking threes, but
It,
there's almost like a before Steph and after Steph kind of
yeah.
game.
I tell you what. JoJo White. If JoJo White played today, he would be Ja Morant without Duncan, with better handles. Because in his era, Duncan wasn't necessarily a thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Nowadays, Duncan is a thing. But bro, I'm saying JoJo White is the only Celtic that I've ever seen with my own eyes that I ever wanted to be a Knick. He the only one, bro. And the Celtics had a bunch of great players, bro.
All of them Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you have people at the top of your organization that knows how to build an organization year in, year out.
Hey, AD, I'm gonna say this, and this might make you laugh, but please try to spare my feelings, bro. Remember, I'm your man, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll try and remember that.
JoJo White is the only player that I would have traded Michael Ray Richardson for.
But that's not a. I mean, that's not a stretch. You're talking about a championship ball player for a ball player who was, in the words of the
Hey, easy,
in the
easy,
words
easy,
in the
easy. Come on.
words of the whispers, lost and turned out.
Oh my God, I knew
Hey,
you was gonna go there, bro.
coach in the chat hating on the Celtics real bad.
Right.
I'm sorry to tell you, sir. That's like trading a Ferrari for a deuce and a quarter. Like,
Oh my
sorry to
God,
tell
come
you,
on, man.
And
AD
I was
don't
a
stop.
microwave Richard dude, but lost and turned out. That dude could have win. There's some people that should never play in the tri-state area, and he was one of those guys.
Michael Ray Richardson.
He was one of those guys. He's one, especially in that era. He was one of those guys that got lost in it.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, come on, yo, we're going to wherever we going tonight. He's not saying no, but we got practice in the morning. Yeah.
Right.
And this is every day.
Every day.
365 days. That's it. A year.
Who did the Celtics trade JoJo White for? Was that the Robert Parrish trade?
I don't know, because I'm not as enamored by Celtic history as you are, sir. So
I am not. I am not.
Celtic
bro.
green make me sick. You know the Knicks once lost. You know the Knicks once lost 26 straight games to the Celtics.
For what
Celtics
time
green make me
span?
sick. From
What was the time frame?
somewhere from like 1980 to 1986 or something like that. It was some crazy 5, 6, 7 year span,
Right.
including the playoffs. They hadn't beaten the Celtics.
Yep.
Some ridiculous. The Celtics used to. Oh my God,
Bro,
they
but
beat us and laugh at us.
Apparently,
you know what?
Freezy. I wanted to tell you what was the JoJo White trade.
Okay.
He was traded by the Boston Celtics to the Golden State Warriors for the 1979 first round pick, Larry Demick.
Oh, they didn't get nothing.
And then, well, indirectly, JoJo White was involved in the Paris McHale trade because the Celtics traded the 1979 3, 9, and 21 picks for Bob McAdoo, who they traded for the 1980 first pick, which they then combined with their 1980 13th pick to swap for Parrish and the 1980 third pick for McHale.
Oh,
So
jeez. And
it's a
McHale
lot.
wasn't even drafted yet.
And that 1980 overall number 1 pick, that's Joe Barry Carroll. JBC.
Yep. They played and so people don't remember that Golden State Warriors with him and Sleepy Floyd.
Yeah, Sleepy Floyd, yeah. Joe Barry.
We out here like, Golden State did everything right.
Look at the names the Celtics moved around.
Yeah.
They moved around a still in prime Bob McAdoo.
Yep.
They move out the overall number 1 pick like the following year, which is Joe Barry Carroll.
Yep.
For guys that nobody heard about. Only your college Knicks knew about McHale.
Right.
Stuff like that. And they form, a dynasty.
The big 3, yep.
They formed the big 3.
Yep. Hey, AD,
Coach hating bad.
Yeah, Boston. Man. But hey, Dre, who was the number 1 pick in 1979?
1979 draft.
Yeah.
1 second.
Is that Magic Johnson?
It was Magic.
Look who, but look at the name of the guy that went to Chicago with the number 2 pick.
David Greenwood.
David Green was a big time player back then.
Man,
UCLA.
baby, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
UCLA was a
No,
big
out of
player.
UCLA.
Yeah.
Right? Out of UCLA.
He's another one of those guys that we talked about that, very little L's on their record, if any.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is this. I watched the Showtime documentary, and everybody was laughing that Larry O'Brien did the coin flip for the 1979 number 1 pick because 2 teams finished with the same record. You know who got the number 1 pick in 1979 based on the coin flip, right?
The Lakers got the number 1 pick. Based on the coin. And Magic would have been a Chicago Bull.
Right.
Otherwise.
Right. So,
but they didn't care about the Bulls. So
no, they needed to save the Lakers, bro. They needed to save the West Coast teams because they already had a bunch of West Coast teams out there. They had the Seattle Supersonics, who were good in the beginning of the 70s and great at the end of the 70s.
The Suns won a title in that time span, if that's considered a West Coast team.
No, they lost
78.
To the Celtics.
They lost.
To the Celtics.
So what year did the Suns win?
They never won it.
They never
won a title?
No, they keep getting robbed, bro. Oh, come on, bro.
No.
They lost. They never won a title. Yeah. But I'm thinking, because I know, what was that coach? It was a coach in that Phoenix Suns team that lost. Yeah. I'm thinking.
Are you talking about Paul Westphal in the 90s?
No, I'm not talking about Paul Westphal. I'm talking about in the 70s.
I mean, not Paul Westphal. I see his face, but Paul Westphal used to coach the Lakers.
Well, Westphal, he was a former Knick.
Paul Westphal. It is Paul Westphal. Yeah,
it is Westphal. He passed away recently. He was the coach. He was their coach in 93, 92-93 season that lost to the Bulls.
I was thinking about Westhead, the dude before
Westhead, right? That's Lakers coach.
Yeah. Bro, the Lakers win the coin toss at night. You ain't never seen the Showtime documentary, bro? Yeah. If you ain't seen it, bro, you got to see it, bro.
They win it, but the thing is, they were in flux in ownership.
Yep.
So if Jack Kent Cook had remained owner, he wasn't necessarily going to draft Magic Johnson.
No, he wasn't. You talking about the racist that owned the Redskins?
Yeah, he wasn't going to draft. He wasn't necessarily going to draft Magic Johnson.
No, he wasn't drafting no urban inner city.
Right.
No.
So Dr. Buss and them, he had pretty much hawked everything to purchase the team.
Everything, bro. Dre, when we say everything,
yeah, and it was
liquidation,
his ownership agreement was tedious at best.
Yep.
It's not like now where you have to show,
all
you
the
have
books.
to show
are you legit? Can you make payroll? All of that,
payroll for the next 100 million years and chop off your son's first foot. It's not like now.
There's no escrow account for payroll.
Yeah,
back then.
There was a lot of handshake and wink deals back then.
That's how they built Las Vegas.
Right. There were no NBA trustees back then, bro.
Yeah, it didn't work like that. Today, it's not like that. Down to the very last person that's going to be in your consortium group has to be a millionaire.
Everybody is getting vetted. Everybody is getting vetted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It work like that.
Yeah, because as a matter of fact, what the other thing that people don't realize too is these two dudes were competitors in real estate, right? So, what's the dude from Donald Sterling was a real estate guy, right? Bougie real estate guy. He named his team after a sailboat. That's where the Clippers name come from. A clipper is a sailboat.
Right.
Okay. Oh, bougie owner.
Okay. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, the Clippers. And
that's a terrible basketball name, by the way. But
right, but they stay with rich owners though. But the Lakers, The Lakers, Minnesota is a disaster. They got the
Right.
Lakers out of Minnesota so they wouldn't fold. They moved to LA. The NBA says, listen, if you move this team from Minneapolis and move it to LA, we'll do everything we can to keep you sustainable. And they've done that every year I've been alive.
And
Every time the Lakers
then
struggle,
doing that,
the
they
NBA
did
rushes to help them.
Minneapolis. They did Minneapolis dirty because I think they won like 5 championships in
Yep.
the old Minneapolis Lakers.
Yep.
They just ripped their team like,
Yep.
you know what, we
They
good.
just stole it. We'll give you another one. We'll give you another one sooner or later.
Yeah. After y'all finish building this underground city, we'll be back in 50 years. We'll be back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Dre, I'm saying, think about. That's why.
Larry O'Brien and David Stern where all the dead bodies are. All the dead bodies.
David Stern. If you ever seen that movie American Gangster?
Yeah.
You know how there was a head mobster in the beginning, and
Right.
then there was like a henchman that Denzel Washington played.
Right.
That was David Stern. That was David Stern. David Stern was that guy, Frank Lucas, of the NBA. Larry O'Brien legit got teams from Fort Wayne. You're like, why y'all playing in Fort Wayne? Who gonna drive to see y'all in Fort Wayne? Right? He made them move the team from Fort Wayne to Detroit. Right? The people in Fort Wayne have been suing the Pistons for years. How you just gonna ignore your lease and just move the team? Take us to court. And so they sue the Pistons. But the NBA show up.
Yeah.
It makes it all stop.
Yes. They
make everything stop.
Right.
But they were in a bad strait though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the biggest Stern fan. I remember what he did to the Knicks, you know, in 97 and so forth. But in truth, when they appoint him commissioner at that time, the league was in a bad place. They were in a bad place. There was a lot of drug abuse. You know, the finals were on tape delay. You know, we're talking about
it's like me and Freezy had this conversation. It was like Larry O'Brien made the NBA go from small time to national, and David Stern made it go from national to international by marketing everyone.
Right. O'Brien, you know, we lived in different times back then.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like marketing, you know, is not. They weren't doing global marketing. See what I'm saying? It's not. It's like who cares about projecting basketball to Guam in 1965? You know, don't want to care about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When Stern
they just wanted to
on,
be profitable in America.
Once Stern gets on, Stern looks at international basketball like, hey, we're one. You know, it's not. We're gonna help grow your individual local games.
Right.
That's where the genius is, because when they decided that there weren't any, and I don't care who thinks what, that they weren't any more, you know, Larry Birds in the draft coming up in those late 80s, early 90s, they were able to tap back into the Euro market and pull out the Drazen Petrovic's and the Sharonis Marshallonis and a lot of these Arvidas and a lot of these other, you know,
that shooter from Seattle,
so many Vlade Divac, so many. They were able to pull out, you know, because why? They had already laid the seed. They had already laid the foundation. They were having those intra-squad Euro games that they used to do. They used to call them, I think, the McDonald Challenge or something like that, where a team from the NBA would go and play in Europe for like 3 or 4 games. I don't know if Freezy might remember that, but like somewhere in the 80s, they used to do that.
And I feel like they leveraged the dream team. Like he leveraged it so perfectly.
Boom.
He
Over.
leveraged that into after the Dream Team came out. It was like they were rock stars on the road, just destroying teams in the Olympics.
That's
Like
it.
teams were getting their ass beat, and they were still
And
asking for autographs after
and
they
they
was
were
getting
ex-
their
and they were ecstatic about it. They were so happy to get their ass crushed, you know. But for the mere fact that the Americans were doing it, and this was the NBA, we're good.
it was like almost like Michael Jordan was Michael Jackson at the Jackson Five, and they were just on a tour, going all over
Yeah,
the place, destroying and creating superstars off of it.
it was the best thing for basketball at the time, and basketball in the future, because of that starts the rise of the Canadian League,
Right?
right? Once they put
Like
and
like like the advent of all the Euros coming into the league in the late '90s, like the Dirk Nowitzkis and all of them, they came because they saw the Dream Team in the early '90s and like, oh, I want to play basketball, and but I'm like 6'10" and I can't really play soccer, so let me go play this basketball instead. And
yeah,
that inspired a lot of younger
it,
kids from European countries and Asian countries and everywhere.
well, we started paying attention to them in truth in '88
Right.
Okay.
when
I think
the
then
John
Deadlift get.
Thompson.
I was gonna say Deadlift Shrimp got to the NBA in like '88 or '89. If I'm not
I think that
mistaken.
was like 89, but in '88
Right.
when the USA team lost, you know, the gold medal, that's when America on a whole started respecting and knew about international basketball.
Right.
Not talking about way back when in the '68 when they lost that controversial whatever. I'm talking about '88. That '88 team with Danny Manning and Robinson and Stacey Augman and all of these and J.R. Reed, who I never thought was a good player, right? And all of those guys, when they played up against that Sabonis in them
Right.
in the finals, you can YouTube that game. You look at basketball execution with a big leading the attack.
Yep.
Dominant.
Because I actually like when I went down the history because I was looking up before the Dream Team and I was looking at these rosters and I was like, okay, I know these names, right? I like Bimbo Coles, for example, and they basically handled every team outside of Canada with ease, and then Soviet just took it to them. Like I actually did watch that game,
That
and like
team, that team has no shooters.
it,
That's for
it was just
one.
like trying to out athletic everyone, and because
That team has
other
no
countries were
shooters.
so like other countries were so behind in the sport of basketball as far as fundamentals and athleticism, it kind of it
By
like
by by
it
that
like
time,
they overwhelmed. Yeah, go ahead.
that Soviet team had came back because they were. I think if memory serves me correctly, they were broken up for a little bit. Something. Oh, they didn't play it in '84 because the Soviets had boycotted the Olympics in '84 because it was in Los Angeles. Because
Right.
the Americans had boycotted in '80 because it
In
was
80 in Montreal.
right.
In
So this is the
Montreal.
first time. This is
I mean, not
really
Montreal. I'm sorry. Not in
in
Montreal.
in
70s was in Montreal with Sugar Ray Leonard and them.
'80s and it's in Moscow.
Yep. Yep.
It's in
Yep.
Russia. So this is the first time outside of maybe Pan American games that these teams had seen each other really and truly up and close in almost 10, 12 years.
Right.
They probably didn't know, which I don't know how they not know, that Sabonis was like the best player outside of America for like 10 years.
Right.
And when they got to them, those Russian guys is also another thing. They were already professionals in like 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds.
Right. And they started being professional at 16.
Yeah. It was lamb to slaughter. It really was. When you dissected and looked at that team going up against that Russian team in the final, No. No way.
I was looking at like even the ages of the United States team was just a bunch of dudes from 20 to 23 years old. And then literally in 92, it was everyone in their prime, basically
Yeah.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Like,
And at
30.
first,
we,
nobody
You
wanted it.
do. Yeah.
and I
You
feel like
remember
David
that? At
Stern
first, nobody
pushed,
wanted it
David Stern pushed all the
because he had
stars
the he
to
had
go
he
into
had
it.
the vision. He knew what it would do for the game.
And you know who it was, and it wasn't just him. It was a dude that was his right hand man that said, "Yo, we need to solidify the game globally." What's my man name? He came from the Chicago Bulls and went to the league office, and
Thorne,
then him. He was
Rod
like
Thorne.
Rod Thorne said because, because for one, he was like, "Yo, you got to clean up the game." Right? Rod Thorne was like, "Yo, get these druggies out the game. If they at one time, get them out of here forever." And everyone's like,
Right.
"Nah, you can't just do it no one time now. Come on, right? You can't just do it for
And
so
he
so
didn't do it just one time. He gave some chances.
he gave them chances, but Rod Thorne and I forget what the other guy name. It's a owner. I can't remember his name, but I can't remember which owner. They was like, "Yo, we have to focus on making a pristine television market." Like basically Rod Thorne and that owner was like, the game is no longer about us, it's about what people see. And then all of a sudden you saw them put the battery into the back of all the players that look good, like the smiling players, the dudes that could do amazing stuff. It
They
was
were
no
like,
longer
they were like, here, go do this Gatorade commercial and smile real hard.
yeah, corporate partners.
Yeah, but
Think about it.
you're talking about the '80s, which everything in the '80s was corporate sponsorship. Everything in the '80s was we're happy,
Yeah,
or that was what it was projected to be. We're happy,
right.
and he just upgraded everything, like the shows, like CBS, because CBS had the rights at that time. Everything was better, like even the music, the entry music.
Yeah. Everything took a step up. Yeah, everything took a step up.
Yeah, Dick Stockton and Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? Everything it was like a matchup. Everything was just better because they just upgraded everything around
David
it.
Stern. David Stern did that, bro.
Yeah.
That TV product, Rod Thorne and them boys, it's another owner. I don't know if I don't think it was Auerbach. I don't think Auerbach with them was for unions. They wanted the players to have retirement after the NBA. And it's a shame that they didn't get that done until Chris Paul did that like 3 years ago. Right. But Red Auerbach then what was like pushing for unions. And I think Red Auerbach was pushing for a minor league system where each team can have their own minor league system in a league where they could play against each other like a lower league, and then that way teams won't be so heavily dependent on the draft and on free agency. And it was in the owner. I don't think it was it the dude from the Pistons. I don't think it was the dude from the Pistons either.
I'm not sure of that, but at that time, the NBA is powerful, but the NCAA was almighty powerful.
Was almighty powerful, yeah.
And
yeah.
They were already pissed off that you were taking, like one guy decides to hop in. They wasn't trying to let like we're the minor league.
Yeah.
Okay. Them little local pro-am leagues or whatever, they're gonna stay exactly where they are. We're the big boys.
Right.
So
why the CBA and the ABA didn't thrive?
I mean, yeah, because they didn't have NBA backing.
No, they didn't.
One of the things that Isaiah used to get his back kicked in for was that minor league organization that he was running for a second. I think it was the CBA.
It was the CBA.
It was the CBA that he was the president, or at some point in time, and they put him as the poster child for the failure of it. And not to take up for him, but he said something that one day that just really made sense. He was like, once the NBA created their own minor league team and didn't absolve us,
Right. That was
we
it.
were doomed for failure.
That was it.
Like he was like, basically what he was saying is he was trying to do what the ABA did. Like I'm trying to draw enough buzz for you guys to buy our minor league thing and include it with yours.
Right.
And it didn't work out.
It didn't work. Right. And no lie, hands to the man. Isaiah did a good job with the CBA, bro.
I don't know about that.
He did a good job with him.
I don't know about that.
Because if you remember when he got there, they were already in bankruptcy.
They were already in bankruptcy.
He got them out of bankruptcy. They functioned for like 2 or 3 years, but the burden was too hard for them to, you know what I'm saying? It was David.
Compete.
It was David and Goliath. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is when it comes to that, bro. But I mean, the NBA is ruthless and cutthroat, bro. The NBA will do whatever it takes to survive. They don't care.
You're not gonna be that kind of a worldwide entity and not be ruthless and cutthroat.
Not be that.
There's no bigger ruthless and cutthroat entity than the NFL.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And do they apologize for it? No, they just pay for it to go. They just pay for it to go away.
Right.
Think about this for a second, right? A couple of years ago, what was the biggest thing in sports outside of Kaepernick?
Oh, yeah.
The biggest thing in sports outside of
Kaepernick,
like scandal.
Yeah, or sports story, like maybe like 4 or 5 years, maybe like 5-6 years ago.
Ray
The
Rice.
biggest thing, not even that. The biggest thing was CTE.
I was gonna say CT at first, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure because they have movies and everything about it.
CTE got movies, got Slapper Will Smith, getting awards and whatever.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Right? You got all of these guys that. What's my guy that safety with Chicago? Found out his brain was
Dave Dawson.
Dave Dawson.
Yeah, he played for the Giants too.
Center with Pittsburgh. All pro center.
Mike Webster.
His brain mush.
Dre, you see how much useless information I have in my hand, bro?
So many of these guys.
It's useless because you just used it right there.
What's my dude with San Diego? Linebacker.
Junior
Seau. All of these guys, come to find out, their brains are on mush. It's the biggest talk, right? Has the NFL not totally rebounded from that?
Yes.
They ignore it. They pay it off. They talk about new technologies and we're gonna put them in the tent.
Name a topic.
Blunt concussions. You can't get rid of it.
Name an issue they have not survived from.
The NFL?
The NFL. Name one.
There is none.
It's done.
There is none, bro.
You got Jerry Jones showing up at Klan rallies from 50 years ago. That was just Jerry. He was only 14 years old.
Yeah.
He was there. He was a part of the welcoming committee.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing.
Jerry Jones. Yep.
That's what Jerry Jones was doing. He was part of the welcoming committee.
It was down there a mockery they made with the taking a knee. Like Jerry Jones was there taking a knee, staring in the camera. Like these are my players. I'm gonna need them.
I'm gonna lead I's gonna lead my people.
Right. We all know it. We all know what that was. We all know what that was about, man. A dude twisting words. But if you're talking about the NBA, though, Trey, like you don't notice that teams go back to cities that have already been vacated by original teams.
Right.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities. They already had a team called the Lakers. Right.
Right.
I mean, that's why when people are telling me, "Yo, Seattle need a team," no, they don't. They had a team. They couldn't keep it. Right? How you gonna tell me Seattle need a team And Oklahoma City can't even sell out their games. What are you gonna do? You gonna move OKC back to Seattle and they be the Seattle Thunder?
And then they're gonna be like an attraction for a year or two, and then the new car scent wears off, and then it's like the
Right.
same thing it was before. But the
Right.
only way they do it is if they expand the league in general, like where they're thinking of Las Vegas
Which
and
would be totally wrong.
Seattle.
You can't say.
I don't think there should be any more teams. I don't think 32 teams is necessary at all.
No, the league has
At
too
all.
many teams now.
It's too many teams as it is.
It'd be an oversaturation of talent. Well, not oversaturation of talent. It would be the opposite. It'd be spreading thin at this point.
Right.
Yeah,
Bro. Oh my
absolutely.
God.
But greed,
Absolutely.
but greed will make it happen if it has to happen.
Greed will dictate that.
Right.
Because if the Las Vegas Raiders do well, which they probably are,
Right.
and they've been there now what 3-4 years.
Yeah, they're doing well.
The NBA is going to look at that.
It's. I mean, LeBron has already put feelers out on it, and Adam Silver is always about making more money. No matter like all the moves Adam Silver has involved himself in, or like ideas, is to make more money, like in season tournaments and in season championships and the play in and all that is all that. In theory, he tries to make it sound like it's about competitiveness, but it's really about where the dollar's going, generating more money for the owners, more money for revenue sharing, more money, just making it a bigger option. They want to compete with the NFL, but they know they can't, so they went the international route. So now they're trying to circle back on the United States now again. But I don't see it.
I wouldn't try and compete with the NFL like that, straight on.
Right.
How I would do it with them is locally, investing the money, into the local areas and growing these teams, and like how the NFL sponsors the Snoop League, leagues like that, to go like you don't head on take them on, because this is still a football nation.
Right.
It ain't gonna change anytime soon, no matter how many people's head turn into mush.
No, and it's not gonna change anytime soon. The NBA has had they've had their moments when they were the big dog.
Right.
When Jordan was king, they've had their moments. You understand what I'm saying? But for the most part, no. It was baseball first, football second, NBA third, and now it's NFL.
I think basketball is starting to compete with the Major League Baseball now.
Well, because basketball, what happened? Here's the funny thing: what happened with basketball? It became year round.
Right.
It became year round because of nutbags like us,
right,
who are interested in the trade deadline and free agency period.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Yep.
What football had going was football had fantasy football, right? As like that double-headed sword that even though the NBA had its own fantasy thing, when it's not quite like fantasy football.
Right.
It takes too much effort to switch lineups every single day. People just want to do it one time for the week and celebrate on Sunday who wins.
Right.
And the thing about football is we miss it. With basketball, you don't miss it, bro.
Basketball just found a way to stay around all year.
Right.
Because, like I said, all of a sudden, because of people like us and this daily thing with trades and free agency period, and football don't have no NFL, don't have no 3-hour trade deadline special.
Right.
It comes and goes.
You come and go, bro.
This is kind of what David Stern kind of conjured up, like storylines and all that stuff. Like that type of culture kind of came from the 90s, because people weren't really about storylines and personal narratives and legacies as much. until after the Jordan era, where people just everyone's legacy matters now. Oh, your legacy doesn't matter. You're Gilbert Arenas, like stop it. Like you're nobody. But it's
how do you let me ask you this though, just real quick as a sidebar, right?
yeah.
How do you view Gilbert Arenas?
Uh, a good player with a short peak, like a very good player with a short peak, but I don't think he's I don't think he would have been viewed as greatly as he was in another era. Like he would
Right.
just be another guard right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask AD this, and I know it's sacrilege, right? I know that is sacrilege, but I'm gonna ask him just because
It's
two
only
careers.
sacrilege. It's only sacrilege if I was Catholic. I ain't Catholic.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I got you.
I'm just
Who
joking.
who do you think had the most impressive career? Gilbert Arenas or Pete Maravich?
They're kind of career-wise probably the same thing. Like in their wow effect.
Right.
Because I've heard old timers talk about Pete Maravich, and some of them, don't have the best things to say about it or his playing style at that time.
Right.
Because his playing style is kind of like the Curry,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Right.
his junior year, he drops 44.9 points per game
Right.
with no 3-pointers.
With no 3-pointers, bro.
Think about that. 44.9 points per game with not near a 3-point shot.
Right.
You put the 3-pointer in there, what is he averaging? 65?
65, yeah.
So, but he wasn't a defender, but what he was is what the game, no longer has. He was a true showman.
Showman. I was gonna say
Right.
showmanship. Because the
True
thing that made
showman.
Gilbert, because he scored a lot, but he was a showman at his lowest form. He liked to show out and be this a lightning rod,
And
relatively speaking.
he would not disappoint you. You know what I mean? It's like he didn't play on good teams overall. Like those Washington teams that had a couple of moments. I remember that playoff series against LeBron, which
Don't choke
Gilbert
at the
is
free throw line.
yeah,
And he
right.
chokes at the free throw line.
And he chokes at the free throw line, right? Which was, young LeBron. You know what I mean? That's people forget, you do adolescent things. He was like 19, 20 years old when he did that, 21, whatever, something like that. But Gilbert, same thing. Showman, just in a different kind of way. Hall of Famers, not NBA winners, unfortunately.
You
But
think Gil's going to the Hall of Fame?
oh yeah, I think Gil's going to the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he's been retired for more than 5 years now. By this point,
I think eventually he's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
I feel like his prime wasn't long enough. The injuries took him out.
I think he has
before.
I think I'm gonna give him a solid 7. I'm gonna give him a great 5 and a solid 7 years. If I had to, right off the top of my head,
Because
because
he's only had 3 years. Well, in his prime, I would say his prime was 04, 05, 06, and he averaged like 27. I want to say somewhere in between there for those 3 years. But then, he fell off because of the injuries. He had like a miniature resurgence year, but then that was the year before they got John Wall, and then he just fell off even further after that. But
I'm gonna say Arenas, the way he exited the league is why he's not considered an all-time great.
that too.
You remember he exited the league not off injuries,
That too.
but off all those gun charges he got with
Well,
Javaris.
injuries as well. But the injuries just kind of because his last day was in Orlando.
Grizzlies.
Was the last
Grizzlies. It was the
NBA team?
Grizzlies. It was
Grizzlies?
the
Okay.
Grizzlies. It was the Grizzlies.
Okay.
Ironically,
Okay.
kind of like AI.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't bat my eye. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
If we're going by talent, he's a Hall of Famer. But you know, politics, and consistency, and numbers, kind
in
of.
the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, is he?
If Michael
I don't
Cooper,
know.
if Michael Cooper is in the Hall of Fame, Gilbert Arenas has a hot step in the Hall of Fame. No, Michael Cooper is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's not. I was like, is he? No.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Then if that was the case, then what's his name should have been Robert Ory should be in the Hall of Fame. Man. Just being adjacent to greats and being a solid player.
Yeah, and Robert Ory's not a Hall of Famer. That's why I tell. But it makes me sick that Yao Ming is in the Hall of Fame.
No, Bill Bradley being in the Hall of Fame, bro, just discredit everything.
Yeah, Bill Bradley should be in the Hall of Fame.
But
I mean,
Yao Ming college career.
Yao Ming is in the Hall of Fame because of his international impact. Like if he was American born and had the same numbers, and then like his career got cut short, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. But because of what he meant to the game internationally, that's why he's a basketball Hall.
You bringing, a billion new fans does not. It doesn't equate to your productivity on the court. Yao Ming wasn't a scrub. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying but where does his NBA basketball career lend him to the Hall of Fame? Man had bad feet for most of the career. Played with an all-time great. Played with Tracy McGrady.
It's kind of funny because like Yao's greatness overlapped with Gilbert Arenas' greatness as far as their primes. Their primes were the same years, like 05, 06, 07. And then they both fell off due to injury shortly afterwards.
That was a beautiful time in basketball too, by the way. From like 2000 to about 2008 was a beautiful time in basketball, bro.
Not for the Knicks.
It was a beautiful time for the elite teams, like the teams with the stars. But if we like Knicks fans or anybody else, you were watching.
The Sacramento Kings were good.
I got two words.
The Mavs were good.
Don Chaney.
Oh God, no, no, I don't want to think Don Chaney.
The Don Chaney years. Do you not remember the Don Chaney years, Freezy?
No, I don't. But, on purpose.
Suppressed them. But like Freezy, during that time, it was a lot of isolation basketball. And if you were a bad team playing a lot of isolation basketball, it was not fun to watch. But if you were watching Kobe do it, or LeBron do it, or T-Mac do it, or Gilbert, right, then it's a wonderful time. It's basically because it was considered the dead ball era. It was the slowest pace. Yeah.
Yeah, or Dirk Nowitzki, yeah.
You were watching guys that were basically technicians go to work on a low block or on a perimeter night in and night out. But the bad teams, it just looked terrible.
Right. But
as in the bad teams look terrible now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
True.
But I was gonna say I think the most beautiful era of basketball is a tie between 1970 and 1975, and the NBA expansion years from like 87 to 93. 87 to 93, bro. You saw an explosion of uniform, of TV coverage, of all types of Jordan sneakers, colorways. Bro, you ain't never even heard the word colorway until, you know what I'm saying?
It was just called color before that. Yes. Like, what color shoes you got? And then it became colorways.
Yeah, because before that, at home, you had to wear black sneakers. On the road, you had to wear white sneakers. It didn't matter what team you were. And the NBA would fine you if you didn't.
I'm going to say 94. I'm going to say from 93 to 2000.
You such a homer. Did the Knicks make the finals in those years?
Yes, they did.
How many times?
Two times. Well, that and
I was gonna ask
you
you a
had
question.
you had better
Oh, you can finish,
rivalries.
AD. You can finish, AD.
No, I was gonna say you had rivalries. Period. It's the extension of the rivalries. Remember?
AAU basketball took that out. Everybody know each other. Everybody is cool
Yeah.
with each other. So, like, there's no real animosity. There's no real beef, and there's too much money on the line to be absolutely frank. Now,
Right.
everybody got sponsorships and brand deals that they gotta uphold. Back then, dudes really got most of their money from the league, and they weren't paying that much as they did now. So it was like, if you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect you right back, and we gonna fight, and we only gonna get suspended for one game, and then we gonna come back and play again that following Wednesday.
I saw Kareem punch Dan Issel's teeth out. AD probably remember that too.
Was it Dan Issel or was it
Yeah.
Benson?
No, it was Dan Issel, Denver Nuggets.
I thought it was Benson.
No, it was Dan Issel because
Yeah,
he was smiling
I
at
thought it was
Kareem with
it was
no teeth
Benson.
in the front.
I thought it was Benson because I know he clocked Benson too. Because at one point, they was thinking Kareem was soft.
Yes.
I saw the
They,
infamous photo where Kareem was sticking up middle fingers in somebody's face.
yeah, they was thinking. I think it was Larry Bird
Right.
when he said when he tells Larry Bird, "I'll bust your mother
Yep.
ass,
Yep.
white boy."
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah, they was thinking Kareem was soft.
Yeah.
I'm like, you 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 thought the game of death. You
You
thought
thought
he,
that
he
was
wasn't.
fake?
You thought it was fake. You thought he what? You thought he wasn't Bruce Lee's student.
You thought he wasn't doing his own stunts? Where
They
you gonna
thought he
find
was.
where you gonna find a 7'3" stunt man at, bro?
Yeah, you thought that
They
was
thought
fake.
he. They thought he was a man of peace because he was around for the civil rights movement.
Yeah, yeah, and he was, and Kareem is the intellectual, and and he talks really low and very calm and cool. And Kareem, at some point, he got really like upset. Like at some point in his career, he's like really passionate again.
You know when it was, right?
I think it might have been after that. I think it might have been after that first Boston game
No,
in '84
no.
when they
Not
were
that one.
calling him
No,
when they were calling him old man and stuff
you
like
talking about
that.
way down the line. You talking about when he
Oh,
thought he was
okay.
washed up. No,
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
no, that's when he talking about he was washed up.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But Kareem had got passionate again when the Sports Illustrated story came out about Larry O'Brien tricking him to go to LA
Right, because he wanted to go to the Knicks.
because he wanted to go to the Knicks. Yeah.
But it was right. Larry was right.
Yeah, he was right. He was right because
He
at
was
the
right.
time when all this stuff was going on, we had Spencer Haywood, Bob McAdoo. What would we have done with Kareem?
We wouldn't have known what to do with him.
We'd have won 9
We
straight.
wouldn't have known what to do with him.
You think so?
We wouldn't have known what to do with him because think about it, and think about the game at that time for a long time. You matched the big with the small.
Yeah.
You'd have got Kareem. Where were you going to turn to for your new small? Because Pearl and Clyde are washed by 75, 76.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you trade, in truth, when you
76,
trade Clyde,
we drafted Ray Williams.
yeah. When you trade Clyde, because at that time he was at the end. He was done. You know what I'm saying? So what was you gonna do? What was you gonna then pivot? You know what I mean? Like only the greats pivot like that. Jerry West gets Kobe and Shaq on the same day. Only the greats have that kind of foresight. Because you get Kareem, you know what you're getting out of Kareem, night in, night out. Right? But when the Lakers put Magic with him, it reinvigorated him. It gave him something else. Gave him a new battery, a new start. Because now you got this kid, and he's not just looking to dump it down to you. He want to run. Got Coop. Got James. Got Cornbread. Got Norm. You could go. You could just keep going down the line.
Yeah.
All these names I mentioned is Hall of Famers.
Michael Thompson.
Michael Thompson. He got Hall of Famers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so he brought that back out in Kareem.
I think the Knicks would have got Dr. J. I think we'd have ran Kareem and Dr. J in the 70s.
They were then what they are now. I said this before when LeBron was going to LA, right? And they were talking about places he would go that would cement the legacy. I was like, look, he goes to LA, he's just gonna be one of the many that's come there. Right. He's not gonna get a statue outside or whatever.
He's gonna be Gail Goodrich.
He's just gonna be. But what he can't do is not win one.
Oh my God!
What he can't. That's why he pushed so hard on the pandemic to win one.
Yeah.
You see, the difference with the Knicks, you know, year in, year out from their organization, they've never been able, outside of the Melo, they've never been able to make a trade or sign a free agent to pull that guy.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. Never been able to. They've had their players, like you said, Julius. Knicks would have had Julius. How is it? Not only are the Nets infringing on my fan base, right? But when you decide to sell off their top piece, you sell him out of the city.
Right.
How is he playing for Philly and not the Knicks?
Right.
Why? Because you don't have the management to get it done.
Oh boy.
He goes up to 90. He goes up to 95.
Yep.
That's all he did. He went 2.5 hours up to 95.
That's it. Bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Because you're right. I can't put no sauce on that steak, bro.
And it happened again. Where did James Harden go? 2.5 hours up to 95.
Yeah.
Not that you wanted him, mind you, because
but you want to have options.
You know, but because you can't use a future Hall of Famer. He just let him walk out the city.
Just let him walk out the city, bro.
Because you can't, he wouldn't be a good fit for you.
Right.
He wouldn't be a good fit for you.
Yeah, man. All right, gents, I gotta get out of here. Big day, long day tomorrow, man. I gotta get a lot of stuff done before the Christmas holiday get here.
Absolutely.
AD, when you want to do the recap?
Let me know, sir. Let me know next week. I know you said you were busy. I just heard y'all on tonight. I said, let me hop on. I didn't even realize it's like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, man.
Let me hop on with y'all.
I'm gonna try to do the Knicks want to drive about 9:30.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm gonna try.
Let the fan base know you're gonna try.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
All right, y'all. Dre, it was good. Good hanging out with you.
Peace. No problem.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
All right, y'all.